And deflation is 10 times worse than inflation, because once it starts to take command, you can't stop it until it runs its course, which could take 20, 30, 40 years. And in the meantime, when they go to have this meeting, they're going to have another war. Two reasons. Number one, to distract you from the financial and economic mess the world's in, and also to get rid of people. Now, these people believe that there's so many people in the world, so we should have them all go out and kill each other. I know that probably sounds a little bit off to a lot of you, but that's the way these people think. And all of their literature is out there, and they talk about it. And that's the way they want to do it. And so that's what you get to look forward to.
Well, here's one of the things I just got in with a friend of mine that's retiring from the Secretary from the State Department. He advised me that the embassies and the ambassadors around the world were against this Obama bill after their staff read it. He told me that the word got to him that over 80% of all embassy ambassadors were against this bill, and that many of them live in places like Florida or Nebraska or Pennsylvania, and that those are the 3 or 4 states that are leading the way, with 14 other states that have filed a lawsuit on this health care plan. And you're right, that this health care plan is not really about health. It's about controlling the people. And he literally told me, he says, what the blankety blank do you think this is all about, when the IRS has to hire 16,000 more IRS agents to fulfill a mandated health care? And why do the poor people out there, and this is a question I want to bring to you, what is your personal feeling about all the people that are on welfare, regardless of race, creed, or color? Why do they get the idea that this is going to be salvation for them when Medicare is going to be slashed in 2 years?
Well, Medicare is somewhat of a choice, whereas the government policy is going to be, if you're sick, you'll do this, you'll do that, and there's no free will left. They're also taking $500 billion, which they are going to set aside from Medicare in order to fund the medical care for the illegal aliens who are about to become legal, if you didn't know it. They're going to have legislation to do that as well. That's number one on their burner right now for the next abrogation of constitutional law. And we're going to have to fight them all the way. One of the most important things you can do is, with minor exception, vote all the incumbents out of office. If we can accomplish that, we can get a whole new group of people in. It'll take 6 months to a year for them to get bought off. And in that period of time, hopefully, we can get legislation passed that will reverse many of the things that have gone on over the last 10, 12 years.
I have 3 real quick questions from overseas. One comes from Dan. He says, it appears that you're going to have a civil war in America. This afternoon, when you talk to Mr. Chapman, ask Mr. Chapman if he sees this coming where he lives, and do the people where he lives think of Obama as some savior for the U.S., or a madman, or maybe even the Antichrist? What would be his feelings?
They think he's a communist. And I don't see a civil war in America. I see a revolution, much different. It's not going to be people fighting against people for the most part. It'll be people who are in the military and people who will be helping the military overthrow the government, because that's where it's going to end up. And if these people on Wall Street in Washington and all these institutions and all the people that they control behind the scenes think they're going to get away with it. They're crazy. And the IRS, they're buying them sawed-off shotguns from Remington, and they start carrying those things, and like a lot of them are going to get killed.
I actually have a question here. I think it's number 5 on the list. Let me go down here. Where's it at? 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where is that sucker? 11. I thought it was top 5. Oh, here it is. 15 on the list here. It says, do you know, and this isn't a question, this is a statement. Do you know that the government is buying hundreds, if not thousands, of sawed-off shotguns from Browning semi-automatic that are semi-automatic sawed-off shotguns? That's a question to me. I don't know. You're the first person to say anything about it.
No, Remington, it's been in the international forecaster. I reported on it twice.
Okay,
because they're buying them for another group. I think it's teachers. And what teachers
that's what
would
this
need
says.
those for?
This later on in the article it says here's an article. It's the Education Department, the National Education Department for the United States.
What do they need?
I can't believe this. The Department of Education is buying these suckers.
Well, they better know how to use them because
he says, check this out.
They better know how to use them because they pull them out and they think it's some kind of a game. They're going to get dead real fast. But people don't think.
27 Remington model. They're Remington brand model 870 police riot shotguns.
That's right.
But
these are not 18-inch barrels. These are 14-inch barrels.
12 and 14.
Big difference. 12 and 14. I mean, you use those under 5 feet.
12 and 14-inch barrels, and it says here they've already bought 27 Remington brand. They have 1,000 to be ordered from Remington and Browning. This is for the
Department of Education. There's going to be a lot of dead IRS people, but because they start pulling those things out and people are going to blow them away.
It says here that they're being purchased for the Department of Education and the Internal Revenue Service in a disturbing trend of government bureaucracy arming their employees around the United States. Drew, do you think the Department of Education should purchase shotguns? No, I don't.
Well, I don't think either of them should. First of all, they're not even trained.
The IRS is not a department of the government. It's a private organization. They're incorporated through New Jersey or Rhode Island. I've got their incorporation papers, Mr. Chapman. I guess I'm going to have to dig them back out.
So they're private tax collectors, and so, they give you a bad time and pull their sawed-off shotgun out, just blow them away with your .45.
Yeah, exactly. You pull your .45 out, or your .40 caliber, or your even your 38. Just aim for the heads. I'm sorry. Here's a question. When your show comes up today, ask Mr. Chapman, does he feel that more congressmen are going to come on board with the Florida congressman asking where is the birth certificate for Obama?
I would think so. And it'll finally become an issue, and he'll probably end up stepping down eventually. Because if they don't, they're going to have, people are going to go berserk. And they know that. They know that. And they think they're going to use the military to subject the American people. And the people that I've talked to and the people who come in on this program saying there's no way that we're going to do that.
I have a couple of remarks here. Mr. Chapman, how many more states do you feel are going to come forth and stand up against Obama? There apparently is 11 states, which he's way off. he says 11 states that are filing suit, led by North Carolina and Idaho.
Oh, I don't know how many, but there'll be more. They just got to get their acts together, and you're seeing a civil revolt, a peaceful one, against government. I mean, they ramrodded that thing through. The people don't want it. They're irate. They're even throwing bricks through the windows of the offices of representatives and senators, and in one instance they shot a hole in the window, I guess, probably when the place was empty just to prove a point.
The Republican representative's office home was somebody shot a bullet through his window, and he voted against the bill.